friend of the channel, Brittany Renner, is a quasi fan of Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, famed content creator, makes content trying to tell men how to be men and has his ideas on a woman's place and what women should and should not be doing and women's worth and all of this good stuff. So, for a lot of men who subscribe to the manosphere, Andrew Tate is an influential person. And Brittany Renner, although some might think that she would have a problem with Andrew Tate's commentary, she actually thinks that he's not all that bad. And for anyone who does not know, Brittany Renner was once on a podcast with Andrew Tate, and they kind of espouse their individual beliefs on stuff, but they didn't necessarily come to blows in terms of arguing. They just kind of agreed to disagree on certain subjects and agreed to agree on others. So when it comes to Tate, Brittany Renner has a rather hospitable mindset. So here's a good old friend of the channel, Brittany Renner, talking about how she feels about Andrew Tate. So this is pretty interesting stuff. We figured we would play this video and then give our 2 cents on what Brittany Renner feels about Andrew Tate.
He can have his views on things. I can have my view on things. There are some things he says that I like. There are some things that I just simply don't agree with. And I think people have to kind of just do what's best for them. And if that is his ideal woman, that's what he sees himself with, and that's what he's going to manifest, and rightfully so. I don't think that just because we all think differently that we all need to think alike for it to be okay. Like, I'm not a cult leader, so I don't need people to think like me. So yeah, like he takes a very hard stance on a lot of different things. And like I said, there are some things that I agree with, some things I understand his point of view, but I also believe there's exceptions to every rule.
Right.
I also believe that there are a lot of stereotypes are true. Like, multiple things can be true at once. So I love Andrew Tate, honestly. I thought he was like great. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that he talks about, like, obviously I can't relate.
Right.
Because I'm like, the girl, like the women that aren't worthy of being wives. Right. Like, that's how I would more so be categorized with those types of beliefs, Right. But that's not how that's not really how he made me feel when we had to sit down. Yeah, he was not degrading. I felt like we just had a really honest conversation about from that point of view and how a lot of men look at certain things. And when it comes to, having a kid, when it comes to being so open about my past and being with different men, can I understand why a man wouldn't take me seriously? Yes, but that's not, I don't fault people who don't see my value. Like, if you don't see it, you're not meant to see it, and that's okay.
Right.
We move on. I don't have to subscribe or feel less than just because I'm not your cup of tea. So I think we can respect, the differences and appreciate the similarities.
Interesting.
Get out of here. All right. So, hey man, listen. If you don't see her value, it's because you weren't meant to see it.
Interesting.
Shouts out to Renner, man. Did appreciate her talking about how she's not a cult leader, so she don't care about people agreeing with everybody or not. So I like that part.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have a take on what Renner said there?
I mean, I was a little thrown off by the setting of this interview. I was like, is this the intro to something? Are they pulling up to Tate's house after this? Like, what are we doing here? Because this looks like a bang bus scene or something like this. Like, what's going on? What kind of interview area is this? You're literally in a van in some shaded area. This is a little sketch.
This new media world, this new media is weird, bro. We got podcasts where they're giving interviews in beds with glasses of wine and in vans, and it's new human stuff, bro. New human
dungeons. So, hey man, whatever floats your boat, right?
Yeah.
So But yeah, this looks like some intro to some OnlyFans scene, but it seemed like she was being really serious here. So she was talking about brother Tate here, and uh she has a very interesting point of view. Uh, she seems cultured in the sense that, well, she knows she don't live in her world and she knows there's a lot of stuff going on. So it was an interesting point of view coming from her. And as she pretty much said it there, that if we think that she's not wife material, then we don't understand her value like that. I think what she's getting there is that, hey, there's guys that know I'm full of shit, and then there's guys that see me for, who I am, she says, but that's her game. So what she's saying there to me in translation is the guys that actually want her are the ones that actually fall for her games. The guys that don't fall for her games, like Andrew Tate, she's okay with them not dealing with her, but she still respects them because they can peep her game that she's full of shit. But she knows there's somebody out there for her, and that's the person who falls for her little game. So that's how I translated that thought conversation and amidst her word salad in a bang bus. So how do you feel about this take here from Miss Brittany Renner?
Yeah, I largely agree with you. I think that she has perspective. So she's aware that there are going to be men who aren't willing to sign up for her baggage. And she doesn't feel as though the men who are unwilling to sign up for her baggage are in the wrong necessarily. It just means that they don't understand or recognize her worth. And I'll let her have that. So long as she understands that men don't, so long as she understands that a man isn't necessarily in the wrong because they feel as though it is incumbent upon them to not sign up for her brand of baggage. So I don't necessarily have an issue with what she said there. And in having perspective, I would say that she, hopefully is going to get to a point in which she understands that she is wifey material within reason. Now, I'm a big believer of symmetry. I'm a believer in things that make sense. So my whole, and I've actually said this on this channel before, it isn't necessarily that she's not wife material, but she's trying to be like, she wants to be, I get, based on what I've seen from her in various videos and speaking engagements and appearances, is she holds herself to the standard of the type of woman who is desired by a man who's not looking for her brand of baggage.
Right.
And I think she's going to fall short in that regard because, like it or not, you're going to have to understand that you're probably wifey material still, but to men who themselves have baggage. Right. So you've got to get with other guys who are like, single fathers or who have, had accumulated a large sizable body count in the entertainment industry, or other guys who are in the entertainment or sports industries, because there's a shared experience there that likens itself to a certain degree of symmetry that gives you the best chance to be a wife. So what I glean from her comments is that perhaps she's getting to a point where she's understanding that that is what her lot in life is, and it is what it is. There's no point in being upset about it because you wrote the book, you were with all the rappers and the athletes, you did what you did, can't take it back. All you can do is make the best of the situation to move forward. So I gather that she has perspective and she understands that. And so she can still get what she wants. She's going to have to understand that concessions need to be made. And you're going to have to get with your counterpart, man. And it just is what it is. So maybe I'm reading into her. Maybe I'm sort of putting words into her mouth, but I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt in that regard, in that she understands and maintains that perspective. That's, basically what she's coming at it from. That's what she's looking at. Just other men with baggage, other men who have those shared experiences. You're not going to get clean cut business mogul guy with no baggage. I don't think that's in the cards for you. What's in the cards for you is other guys who have done basically the same things that you've done. Maybe guys who themselves are, you know, sex workers or not, or
Gigolos.
yeah, all that stuff. And, guys who make chicks sign NDAs before they sleep with women, and that's stuff like that. So maybe she understands that. Hopefully, she does.
Well, and I'll say this: if that's the angle, because I was going that she's going to fool people angle, but if we go this angle, the concessions that she has to make is it can't be the standard. It can't be like monogamy. It can't be loyalty. It can't be what
Right.
what normal people have, because of the life that she lived, and I think will for always live. And then the guy who the hypothetical guy who has his baggage. So if they both understand they ain't shit, if they both want to keep it open, but if they want to if they got some understanding, but it's not going to be what the other people have, because you can't have that man. If you can't have that man, you can't have his same relationship. You see what I'm saying? So if you pick this baggage man, you can't have the relationship of blue collar man. So you're going to have to, the concessions is going to break down all that other stuff that you wanted, like loyalty and all those other, they're going to fall into other buckets, and you got to be cool with that. And so, but it's going to take on a new form due to the fact that you are such a new breed of human that's going on nowadays. And that's why I was telling you before in other previous conversations, these people that's living these type of lifestyles, if they do want to have something serious when they getting old and crusty, it's not going to be what grandma and grandpa had. They're going to have to find a new way to get old with each other, and it's going to look a little poly because of how everybody getting down nowadays. So she fits in that boat to me because of how she is, and if she want to get with another person that want to live poly, live open, and do all that stuff, I think that'll be her best bet. So good luck, Miss Renner, and your bang bus. So, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, good luck to her, because that's pretty much all she does nowadays. Is just, it's funny to see her career arc, if you want to use that word, career.
Right.
Because like I thought she was just going to be a fitness influencer, and now she's basically basketball wife, quite literally. I wouldn't be shocked if she ended up on one of those shows. Do they still do that show?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but she's essentially a basketball wife who speaks on her relationship status. That's what she does. I don't know what else she does. I don't know what else she does. So and gets called to speak to young men about how not to get played by women like her. Ironically. So it's just interesting. It's funny stuff.
All looking for a husband. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. Right. Oh man, good luck to you, Brittany.
The internet.
Yeah.